You may have noticed as I was giving you examples of objectives and tactics, or as you were going through and brainstorming your own objectives and tactics, that many of the tactics looked like they themselves could be objectives. And you're right. There is a lot of crossover between objectives and tactics. And I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about how to level up your marketing game. The system I talked about here is relatively simple. It has three components, right? Your end game, your objectives, and your tactics. Where you want to go, what you need to do to get there, and specific actions you need to take. It's actually a lot more complicated than that, or it can be if you want it to be. It can be that simple, but if you really want to build a business and a career and you want this to work long term, then I think it is definitely in your best interest to add the more complexity. It's more like Legos than like bricks. You can build it up and you can smash it down. You can leave it lying on the floor for people to step on. You can make your marketing system completely colorful or completely gray, whatever works for you. This is a multi-dimensional system. I kind of like to imagine it like if you've ever watched Stargate or some sort of space travel TV show. Sometimes they have these 3D maps of the universe where you can kind of zoom in on a planet or you can zoom out and you can see the whole structure moving. And that's kind of like, I think, what most marketing plans actually end up looking like. So this is just a way to kind of dive in and give you some practical steps for building it out. But the easiest way to level up your marketing is to start with those three components: end games, objectives, and tactics, and then just add layers. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're working with the objective, publish my books in multiple formats and languages, and your end game is to make money. You select three tactics: developing a strategy for using Kindle Unlimited, and you have one series in Kindle Unlimited. Set up distribution on Kobo, iTunes Kobo, and Draft to Digital for your second series. And then figure out a method for selling direct through your website. These are really complicated, right? They're not actually single specific actions that you could take. These are actions that you can take which involve many, many other actions. So you take each one of those three and develop another set of actions. So maybe for developing a strategy for using Kindle Unlimited, you say, okay, I am going to put XYZ series in Kindle Unlimited. Then I'm going to advertise that series using Amazon ads and free Booksy promos. You might put it out more specific than that. You might be like, I'm going to create a calendar for Kindle Unlimited. This series is going to be in Kindle Unlimited for this amount of time, and these are the specific things that I need to do to make sure it's in there. Here's the date that I'm going to uncheck that box so it's no longer in Kindle Unlimited, etc. Maybe for setting up distribution on Kobo, iTunes, and Draft to Digital, your set of actions is very specific. It's set up a Kobo account, upload books to Kobo. Set up an iTunes account, upload books to iTunes. Set up a Draft to Digital account, upload books to Draft to Digital. These are complex tactics, and you can absolutely break them down into more specific tactics and actions. Eventually, what this is going to look like, if you really, flesh it out all the way, is a multi-step pyramid. And I sort of made up some names for some of the different levels, but you can name them whatever you want. With the end game at the top, or if you think of it as like a road in perspective, an end game at the end, then objectives, then sub-objectives, then sub-sub-objectives, tactics, and tasks. And it could be this many layers, it could be more layers, it could be fewer layers, where the bottom of the pyramid closest to you is where you are now. And the far part of the pyramid is where you're trying to get to. Here is Baltimore, there is New Hampshire. And all of these different pieces in between are all of the different tasks that you need to do, all of the different tactics you're going to take, and all of the different objectives and goalposts that you need to achieve or get to in order to eventually reach your end game. So let's say that you are using the objective, publish my books in multiple formats and languages. And your end game is that you want to make money, whatever number that is. So your first tactic that you've selected is develop a strategy for using Kindle Unlimited and put one series in Kindle Unlimited. That's pretty complicated. That's not just one action that you can take. So maybe you set up another row of actual tasks or tactics, which are research the constraints of KU. Like, what are the rules about being in it, and what do you have to do and what can't you do? Choose which series to put in Kindle Unlimited. You have 4 different series. Which one is going to be most effective in Kindle Unlimited and why? Schedule free book promos for Kindle Unlimited, which you can do, and figure out which promo companies you're going to use. Maybe even create a calendar for how long each book is going to be in Kindle U and when you're going to do those promos. Another tactic that you might use for publishing your books in multiple formats and languages is to set up distribution of your book on other distributor websites like iTunes, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, or Draft2Digital. So your tactics or your tasks might look like set up a Kobo account, set up an iTunes account, set up a Draft2Digital account, set up a Barnes & Noble account. Create a system to track book versions and or book sales in different places. And then for a final example, operating under the same objective, publish my books in multiple formats and languages. You might have a tactic that says, figure out a method for selling direct through my website. And so your tactics might look like set up a website with e-commerce options or upgrade my website to include e-commerce options. Set up payment processing. Figure out a method for selling direct through my website. And your other sub-tactics or tasks might look like set up a website with e-commerce options or upgrade my website to include e-commerce options. Figure out payment processing. Upload all of the books and write product descriptions and test them to make sure that they actually work. Set up shipping options if you're going to be offering sales of actual paperback books. Leveling up is not that hard once you have the actual underlying system in place. And it can be really helpful to help you scale your business and grow as an author.